The Chicago Bears have made their selection in the third round at pick number 75 overall. No trade down. It is Kiran Amegadjie, the offensive tackle out of Yale. And we talked about it leading up to this NFL draft. Would Ryan Poles take a left tackle potentially in the first round? Would he take one later, a guy to develop? And to take one here in the third round is very, very interesting. Traitsy type of player. We'll talk about his kind of background and what it could mean for Braxton Jones and this offensive line moving forward. But I want to hear from you guys first. Grade the pick of Kiran Amegadjie. A, B, C, D, or F. Drop a letter grade down in the comment section down below. I would probably give it a B, B+. And I'll expand on that on our draft grades video later tonight. But this is a fascinating pick because this is a player that hopped onto the radar in the pre-draft process because he dominated in the Ivy League. He's got a lot of traits that big-time offensive tackles have. You look at our scouting report of Amegadjie, good combination of length and power. Dominated against, like I said, that Ivy League competition, but he's going to have to make a big jump here, which is why I like to pick 2. You're probably going to be able to just sit him for a year. Has some balance issues at times, but recovers pretty well. 72 on our big board. You get him at 75 overall, so it feels like proper value. It always felt like early third round was kind of the range for him. And when you look at where the Bears' offensive line sits right now, I think he's your swing tackle as a rookie. This could be, I'll say this. Forget Braxton Jones, what that means for him right now, because I still think he's your starting left tackle. Bye-bye Larry Borom. That is my initial takeaway. Larry Borom is going to have to earn a roster spot here. But another interesting aspect to this is Kiran Amegadjie in 2021 was the starting left guard at Yale, kicked out to left tackle the past 2 years. Why? Well, he's 6'5", 323, and has 36-inch arms. But the point is, I like that versatility. I like the positional flex. We don't know what Tevin Jenkins' future is after this year. He is in the final year of his rookie deal. Nate Davis, they can get out of his contract after this year. So I like the value here. You always needed to add an offensive lineman in this draft. Dane Brugler, the athletics draft expert, says this about the Yale product. Amegadjie is a raw prospect who needs technical and strength work before he sees live NFL reps. I agree. But his physical ingredients and competitive drive are the foundational elements that pro coaches want to develop. Brugler has him as 87 overall. So, again, similar range, third-round type of grade. This is going to be fascinating. If I had to guess right now, the goal for him is going to be to build that NFL strength, get with Chris Morgan, work on that technique work, and kind of treat this year as a redshirt year. Get him a lot of reps in the preseason, get those live action reps at training camp, see how he performs. And we'll see how he stacks up with the likes of Braxton Jones and Larry Borom and so on and so forth. More on this pick and where the Bears sit in this NFL draft in just a little bit. But first, today's show is sponsored by GameTime. Shout out to GameTime. If you want to go check out the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field this fall, you're going to find the best prices available, and you can get last-minute tickets for that lowest price guaranteed with GameTime. In the meantime, go check out the Cubs, the White Sox concerts that are coming to Chicago or wherever you were from. And look, buying tickets online for years, it's been a pain. No longer. GameTime has made it very, very simple and very, very timely. You can get those tickets sent to you digitally in just minutes. Like I said, I've bought tickets just an hour, 30 minutes before the start of events before, and I've gotten into the venue in time. Another aspect of GameTime that I really like, they have still shots of what your seat is going to be, what's your vantage point going to be, what are you going to see when you enter that stadium or that arena, because it's important. You want to be able to know what you are looking at because you are spending your hard-earned money. Download GameTime. Use code ChatSports when you create your account. That's going to get you $20 off at your first purchase. $20 off with code ChatSports, all one word, when you download the GameTime app. We appreciate you guys for supporting our sponsor. The link to download the GameTime app is in the comments and in the description of this video. Shout out to GameTime today. All right, so you add Kiran Amegadjie, the offensive tackle out of Yale. So what have you checked off in this draft? Quarterback, wide receiver, offensive tackle. Defensive line is kind of the clear, like, okay, center, defensive line, that's kind of next. But obviously you've made a lot of big moves this offseason. You add Ryan Bates, and Coleman Shelton to compete at center. I think at this point, it's for sure going to be one of those guys. Keenan Allen, the other offensive additions, Kevin Byard to replace Eddie Jackson. I really like what they have done in this draft. Now, obviously, it started with last night, right? I mean, this is going to be the headliner, right? Like, the Kiran Amegadjie is kind of like that sixth track. Could be a nice little song later on in the album, but Caleb Williams, Jerome Odunze, we heard from them both today at Hallis Hall. Fun to see those guys hang out before the draft, become teammates in Chicago. Now they're hanging out in Chicago. It's just, it's a really, really beautiful thing to see. But I like this pick of Amegadjie as well. You've got to invest in offensive line. I think the Bears have an intriguing upward trajectory at O-line, but there's still question marks both for this year and beyond. Is Braxton Jones the long-term answer at left tackle? What does center look like? Is Tevin Jenkins going to be on this football team after this year? What about Nate Davis? Should you give Nate Davis real competition this year, or should you just give him the job? I think he should have to earn a starting job. Obviously, Darnell Wright you feel really good about at right tackle, but listen, guys get hurt. They're in the trenches. They're banging heads every single play. Ankles get stepped on. You need depth. You need competition, and this is a guy with a huge ceiling. Like I said, the measurables are fantastic. With 36-inch arms, almost 10-inch hands, 6'5", 323 pounds. I think in an ideal world, he doesn't have to play as a rookie, and he's probably a starter in year 2. And it just is a matter of what position that is. But he's got starting upside, make no mistake about it, with that raw talent, with that power, with that arm length. I mean, that's a big thing for the Bears that they've talked about is those measurables, and this guy's got it. He's got all of that. This guy was built in a factory. It's just a matter of can he play NFL-level competition at a high level. What is your one-word reaction to the pick of Kiran Amegadjie? Let me know in the comments section down below. Give me your one-word reaction to this selection. Also want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to break down every single pick throughout the NFL draft. As of now, the Bears only have one more pick coming up at 122, but we're live as we speak breaking down every pick in the NFL draft, so we'll see what happens with other NFC North teams, with every single team in the NFL. And if the Bears make any more moves, we are going to cover it here on Chicago Bears Now. I love what the Bears have done so far with Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, and Kiran Amegadjie, and now we wait and see where things go from here. It's going to be interesting, man. The competition that Ryan Poles has created on this football team on both sides of the ball over the last couple of years has been nothing short of fascinating. We'll continue to cover it all, so hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and as always, bear down.